All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So there's this clip that's floating around the internet right now regarding Aaron Rodgers, and he's at the golf course, right? He's walking around the golf course, and somebody's asking him questions. One was about Luke Getsy, the new Raiders offensive coordinator who was previously in Chicago, before that in Green Bay with Rodgers, and kind of had nothing but praise for Luke Getsy, which was awesome. But in in regards to Davante Adams, right, when Davante Adams came up, Rodgers said, "I can't wait to play with them." Again, like just like that, there was that little pause in between. So you kind of just feel like this, bond between these two players, this story about Adams joining the Jets or these two guys reuniting in some way, is going to continue. It's going to continue on, right? No matter the cap situation, no matter where the two teams are at, you kind of always feel like this rumor's there. But, here's the reality. I think, first and foremost, the Raiders will not be trading Davante Adams unless there's only one possible way that I really view the Raiders as a team that's willing to move off of Davante. And it's once they get to the trade deadline, if they're horrible, right? If this Raiders team has 2 wins, 3 wins by week 9, right? Because the trade deadline is getting pushed back this season, then it would maybe make some sense for Vegas to say, hey, you know what, Davante is is a great player, but it's not translating into wins. This season has not gone our way. We can flip Davante, maybe get a first round pick or get some, awesome draft assets in return, clear some money. Davante isn't 24, 25 years old. Maybe it makes some more sense to move off of a guy like that at the trade deadline, as opposed to now or anything like that. I really feel like there's zero possibility of Davante Adams getting traded before the season starts. Especially if the Raiders are winning, it just makes absolutely zero sense for the Raiders to move Davante Adams. This is, yes, of course, you have Antonio Pierce coming in the building, but aside from that, this team has a bunch of veterans on it. Max Crosby. I could go sit here for 10 minutes and go down the list of the talented veteran players that the Raiders have. I don't view this team as a bottom 3 team in football. I don't view this team as a bottom 5 team in football. I know people point to the quarterback position, Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, and we'll see how these guys develop or progress throughout the course of the season here. But Aiden O'Connell, he flashed at times during his rookie season. Having to deal with the whole Josh McDaniels situation, comes in as a mid-round pick. I mean, he looked functional for sure. I mean, is it fair to assume that he, can get a little bit better in his second year? Yeah. I think when you look at Gardner Minshew, he's been one of the best backup quarterbacks in football for the last couple of seasons and won a bunch of games for the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, they were actually in playoff contention up to the last week of the season where they ultimately lost to Houston. But I'm personally not writing the Raiders off. I've seen a couple mock drafts with the Raiders picking first or picking second or third. I'm not going to go that far. I think, for me, I think the Raiders are going to win their fair share of games this season. Not, guaranteeing 12, 11 or anything like that. But, I just don't see them as a bottom team in football. And if they're not a bottom team in football, I just don't see I don't see the Raiders moving off of a guy in Davante Adams unless they want to, I guess maybe reload or you get a humongous trade package in the building. Now, from the Jets' perspective, it makes total sense to go get Davante, right? Comes in, best receiver on the team. It would help out everybody. Obviously, he knows Hackett. He knows Rodgers. He takes pressure off of Garrett Wilson and, guys like Mike Williams and whatnot. But, again, when you're talking about a trade, it takes 2 to tango. This isn't free agency. I wish Davante Adams was a free agent. If he was, I would say that the Jets were the favorite, but because he's still on the Raiders, and the Raiders have given zero indication to wanting to trade Davante, and also too, I think this is this is relevant to talk about. It's not like Davante Adams has requested a trade or is pounding on the table like, get me out of here, free Davante, and any of that stuff. Like, he really seems like he wants to be a Raider. So, until we hear otherwise, until it's reported that he is requesting a trade, until the Raiders are, losing a bunch of games, I just don't really feel like at this point in time a Davante Adams trade is relevant or is realistic. So, anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.